CNN says Don Lemon's bitter statement after being fired is inaccurate and claims they offered to meet him, but he chose not to, as the sexist anchor's behavior catches up to him. Don Lemon has been fired by CNN after 17 years. In a statement posted to Twitter, he wrote, "I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. It is clear that there are some larger issues at play. With that said, I want to thank my colleagues and the many teams I have worked with for an incredible run. They are the most talented journalists in the business, and I wish them all the best." CNN's communications team denied Lemon's claims that he'd been sacked without ceremony, saying his statement about this morning's events is inaccurate. He was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter. Network CEO Chris Licht confirmed the firing in an internal message, thanking Lemon for 17 years on air, and telling staff he would forever be a part of the CNN family. Licht added that he was committed to the success of CNN this morning. The flailing morning news show Lemon had been helming with anchors Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins. Lemon signed off from the show at 8:56 a.m. Monday morning, saying bye everyone with a wave. Little more than 3 hours later at 12:14 p.m., he announced his surprise firing in a tweet. Shortly after news of Lemon's firing broke, a source told DailyMail.com, Don was given every indication when he made the fake apology for his disgusting comments, and still, no one wanted anything to do with him. They continued, "No one owes him anything. He should have had the decency to not be a misogynistic, sexist pose." Don truly believed he was going to always get a get-out-of-jail-free card, because he is black and gay, which worked to his advantage until it couldn't. It doesn't matter what color you are or what your sexuality is. He lost the respect of all of the women on staff, and no one wanted to work with him. Even after this, he still acted no differently, and would give the women he worked with attitude, because he could sense that they felt a certain way still. Good riddance and good luck getting a job elsewhere. Lemon has been mired in controversy in recent months following mounting claims about his misogyny at the network. During a segment of CNN This Morning in February, Lemon said that women who were older than 40 years old were past their prime, causing outrage among staffers and viewers alike. He made the comments while discussing presidential candidate Nikki Haley's proposal that politicians ages 75 and up should face mental competency tests. Lemon, who at 56 is 5 years older than Haley, 51, said the politician should tread lightly on the topic, because a woman is in their prime in 20s and 30s, and maybe 40s. Harlow and Collins responded with apparent incredulity to the comment, only for Lemon to double down and insist that if viewers Google it, they would see he was right. Both co-anchors reportedly stormed off the set after the segment, and Lemon's position at the network was cast into doubt, as staffers and viewers alike called for his sacking, over what they said was just another incident in a long pattern of troubling misogynistic behavior from Lemon. Sources inside CNN told DailyMail.com that female were telling management to pick between them and Lemon, saying if Don doesn't go, others have threatened to quit. People are hurt by his actions, and are not going to let this go. It is like every woman over 50 in America has taken this as a personal insult. The female staffers at CNN definitely have. He needs to make his vacation a permanent one, the source said. Lemon was not ousted at the time, however, and instead was forced to deliver an apology to staffers, saying what I said came out wrong, and I wish I hadn't said it. I believe women of any age can do anything they set their minds to. The people I am closest to in this organization are women. Lemon rose to glory in the Trump years, while as CNN's primetime liberal mouthpiece under the leadership of former CEO Jeff Zucker. But after Trump left office and CNN's ratings started to plummet, Zucker was ousted, and his replacement, Licht, vowed to return CNN to more even-keeled journalism. Last November, Lemon was bumped to CNN This Morning, where he broadcast alongside the 40-year-old Harlow and 30-year-old rising star Collins, and reportedly spent the following months griping about his new posting. Things started on the wrong foot when Harlow and Collins accused him of mansplaining why the U.S. men's soccer team should get paid more than women's. Despite the team's lack of success, Lemon insisted that he was joking when he said that men were more interesting to watch, and added you cannot make people become interested in something they are not interested in. Upon receiving swift pushback from Harlow, he quickly caveated his opinion with the blanket statement, saying I'm not sexist. Days later during a December 8 segment, Lemon steamrollered through Collins as she tried to get a word in during a discussion about the release of Brittany Griner. During the obviously tense exchange, Collins could be heard trying to offer insight, while an obviously irritated Lemon at first appeared to ignore her, then looked right at her as he continued on with his sentence. After pausing for a moment, Lemon continued speaking without once acknowledging what Collins had said. He spoke for a further 40 seconds before allowing Collins into the discussion. The incident reportedly sparked a screaming meltdown from the former primetime host, who was irate at Collins for interrupting him. According to the New York Post, Licht was supposedly stunned at the news and told Lemon to take the following day off to cool off. After a particularly icy on-screen reunion following reports of Lemon's meltdown, Collins was sent to Capitol Hill to cover President Biden's State of the Union address. After Collins finished a broadcast of an interview to the show, Harlow began praising her reporting before Lemon suddenly cut in to talk about the importance of fact-checking. Harlow pressed on to say, "That's why we have Caitlin Collins on the Hill fact-checking in real time." But Lemon continued, "I just can't believe that we're here," and forced producers to stop commercial break music to finish his point. Things came to a head in February during the discussion about GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley's proposal that politicians ages 75 and up should face mental competency tests. Lemon said discussing age in politics was the wrong road to go down, then quickly went down that road. She says people, politicians are suddenly not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry, when a woman is in their prime in 20s and 30s and maybe 40s, he said. Harlow cut Lemon off, asking, "What are you talking about? Prime for what?" Before Lemon pressed on while insisting, "That's not according to me. It depends. It's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google what is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, 40s, he said. I'm not saying I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that. Politicians are in their prime. Are you talking about prime for, like, childbearing? Or are you talking about prime for being president?" Harlow asked. "Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying what the facts are," Lemon responded. "Google it. Everybody at home, when is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politics are not in their prime, and they need to be in their prime when they serve. She would not be in her prime according to Google or whatever it is." Throughout the interaction, Lemon directed all of his comments to Harlow, while Collins remained out of the fray. Later during the show, when CNN podcast host Audie Cornish joined and questioned Lemon's point, he refused to back down. "The idea of prime that you Google on the internet, that's about sexual and reproductive prime. That's not actually about mental health and aging," Cornish said. "No one is going to look at Nikki Haley and say, is she in her prime or not?" Lemon responded, I don't know." Harlow reportedly stormed off the set after the exchange, according to a report from the New York Post. Lemon's comments left CNN staffers upset about yet another questionable incident involving the beleaguered host, according to the Daily Beast. "There were grumbles of mansplaining," a source said, "and how much longer the women should have to be talked down to before there's a change." Numerous staffers also complained internally about Lemon's show, the Daily Beast reported. Back in September, Lemon was also accused of misogyny after asking a Republican panelist, S.E. Cup 43, whether she was suffering from mommy brain after losing her train of thought. After Cup finished her point, Lemon ignored what she said and instead focused on her verbal lapse. "Is it fair to say this, because I'm not a mommy? But is it mommy brain?" he asked. Cup appeared bewildered by the question as a silence hung over the panel for a moment. "No," she finally said, drawing the word out. "I just forgot what I was going to say." Lemon's behavior towards women goes much farther back. In 2018, he was called out for repeatedly interrupting two female commentators on a panel, and told another male panelist to not interrupt and let the women finish their points. Then in June 2021, Lemon was called out on social media in June of 2021, accused of interrupting and being rude to panelist Brianna Keilar. The pair had been discussing then-President Trump and the Republican Party, where Lemon described him as the Wizard of Oz. Host Brianna attempts to make a point, and Don quickly says, "Hang on, Brianna, please," and continued on with his opinion. Some on Twitter said he dressed down his female co-worker, accusing him of talking to women just like Donald Trump.